Okay. Okay. No, I didn't shut the door. We're gonna get this right. Testing. We're gonna get this right. So you guys didn't hear a word I said, did you? So please forgive that technical error. Let's recalibrate. We're not letting that trip us up. When you feel your energy's out of whack, you just... And why not put a little smile? Peace, calm. Thank you guys for your patience in starting this live. So I'll just repeat what I said. First of all, a big, huge, juicy kiss to my twin flame out there, Machiwa. Thank you all of you coming on in to this live video transmission, frequency, energy, spirit, that angelic human frequency, the Kirashe, the Kundare, the Unisai, at one mint, not atonement. And so that's what this frequency is about, you guys. And that's basically what tonight's topic is. This huge oneness, this huge creation is the matrix. We're not living in no simulation. I even see other content creators thinking we're in a fake reality, and we're not in a fake reality. This is what the Guardians call, in these Emerald Order freedom teachings, they talk about something called the time matrix. It's literally called the time matrix. Like a movie of sorts, right? But it's not like you think in the movie The Matrix, where you're inside a computer. We're not inside any computer, you guys. We're in authentic creation context. Not some fake reality, not some player characters around us. Those are all fringe ideas, new age ideas. We're living in a multiverse. That means more than one universe. According to the Guardians, we live in 5 harmonic universes. There's that word, harmonic. They also call this the hologram of matter. Or time matrix. Time matrix, hologram of matter. It's an enclosed system, enclosed. It's part of God's consciousness. It's a place. Places, plural. And it's described as being dimensionalized. Dimensions. Those are separate bandwidths of reality. No, nothing is truly separate, but in the context of frequency and the energetic systems involved, they're different frequencies, speeds. You could say that's a sort of individuation, a type of separation. They literally have within the 5 different universes something called, it's like a barrier. Magnetic repulsion zone, the Guardians call it in the Voyagers books, and in the Kathara Biospiritual Healing Workshop series, it's called a magnetic repulsion zone. So it's literally impossible for any manifest beings to travel down to some other galaxy, some other dimension, some other world without going through a stargate, a portal, a wormhole. You don't go light speed to finally someday get somewhere. No, you instantaneously go through a stargate, just like all the Guardians do, just like the many different alien races do. They're using stargates, they're jumping, they're porting, they're opening doorways to other locations in the matrix. time matrix. And time itself is an illusion, homies. It's the perception of something that's physical. It's not a trick or a lie or a hoax, because our higher selves knows it's a hologram illusion experience. So just like people who create virtual realities know it's not reality, real reality, that it's something designed so that other conscious people can come together inside a virtual reality. Same idea with the actual reality, with the actual hologram reality. Parts of our higher selves knows it's a simulation. Simulation, not like a virtual reality simulation, but a consciousness manifestation simulation. The simulation of physical reality. In truth, nothing is physical. It's only the experience of being physical. So there's nothing bad about it being an illusion. The illusion is intentional. Because that which was non-manifest became manifest. That which was spirit consciousness became a body form. So I call BS to all those people out there saying we're in a simulation, saying we're in a alternate fake reality. No, we are not. This is the actual. We're not in some fallen reality. We're in the third dimension of the first universe. It is real reality intended by Source. Humans haven't fallen somewhere else into some fake place. We're in the real place as we were originally seated. We were originally seated in the third dimension of the first holographic universe. We are here. Are there other computer realities, simulation realities? Sure. That's created by extraterrestrial technologies. Even humans are working on those false realities, fake realities, virtual realities. This is not virtual, baby. This is a hologram density, densified, dimensionalized frequency reality system. Created on consciousness, integrated by consciousness, fed by consciousness. It's all energy. Energy is consciousness. Consciousness is energy. It's the same thing. It's alive. Consciousness or any form of energy is alive. Any matter form we think is physical is not physical. It's the illusion, the holographic perception of being physical. The holographic perception of this is hard or solid. No, it's the illusion of something that's solid based on particles, which all objects are made of particles, and those particles themselves are not solid, are they not? All the particles are vibrating. There's nothing that's solid. There's nothing that is physical. That doesn't mean we're in a fake reality. It doesn't mean that it's not important. Because this is how we're experiencing manifestation. We were never physical beings. We never will be physical beings. We're always going to be consciousness experiencing different levels of density matter until we leave the matrix, time matrix. And then you're still in consciousness, but you're no longer individuated. You're no longer in some illusion of a body. It's all just pure consciousness. That's where all the eternal gestalts, collectives, families of consciousness exist, perpetually, eternally. And think about the hologram matrix being inside that eternity. So eternal beings are coming into these hologram systems, experiencing physical worlds and physical forms and physical life But it's not physical. It never was and never will be. There's no such thing as anything that's physical in God's mind, in God's source, God's consciousness. It's all energy, consciousness. Thank you guys tonight. This is what we're going to be covering in tonight's live. Machiwa to all my brothers and sisters. Let's say hello. Let's get the my incense going. Get my little charcoal. This is my little grill. I'm gonna put some resin on my grill. I miss my twin flame. I miss you, baby. So, write it in the comments if you guys have seen the movie, The Matrix, Part 1, Part 2, or Part 3. And by the way, here on this channel, we have interviewed the person who actually wrote the Matrix script, and so his name is Tom Althouse. Blessings to our brother Tom Althouse. But we're not focusing on the movie, you guys, but we're using that as an analogy because there's a lot of narratives out there talking about a simulation theory. And I just got through explaining no, that's a distortion. But simulation theories can exist. I don't know if some of you watched the series called Star Trek. You know, they have some shows on like Star Trek Generations where they have the holodeck. They call it the holodeck. Interesting term. Hologram, holodeck. So some people can get lost in the holodeck or in those holographic worlds that are so real, it's hard for your five senses to tell the difference. As a matter of fact, you guys have seen some of my videos talk about the secret space program, which has everything to do with secret government, secret militaries, secret programs in space. Okay, they talk about, many whistleblowers have talked about some of the technology that was used against them. And you would say, where they were hooked up to these simulation hologram systems that were so real, they thought they were in reality. It's part of the freaking disgusting, horrible things they do in those secret space programs, some of them, where they're experiencing on purpose. They make these people go in these real life systems, and they think it's real, and they murder them, torture them. They're trying to split their consciousness into a super soldier program. They're trying to create super psychic abilities by putting you through horror and suffering and death. It's the consciousness that is experiencing it in these real life worlds where they don't know the difference. Just like if your consciousness is transferred into a clone body and you're cut and hurt and harmed, you'll hear some of these people talk about, like Donnie, what's his name? Donnie? He talked about all the programs he was involved with and that he was killed every single night. Tortured, they make you have a fight with other people so you get cut with a sword, or it's just really diabolical. That's not how you expand consciousness, baby. I mean, that's how these programs do it. You know that's not a guardian technology. But they seek kids who are already psychic, and then they put these psychic kids in these programs and make them super psychic. Because we're not just dealing with Earth anymore, we're dealing with other planets, other alien civilizations who are super psychic themselves. So we have to raise our little human bar the 3D bar. A lot of us are multidimensional. I'm not talking about those starseeds and indigos. I mean regular people. Well, most of the kids in these programs are indigos though. So, but they have to be able to deal with super psychic ETs. That's what my point was. Purify and cleanse your space and your light body. Co-create with the sacred resins like frankincense, copal, amber, myrrh. Spiritual hygiene, spiritual baths, machiwa. How you doing, homies, brothers and sisters of Christ, Christos? It looks like, Mix, LKM, 1993, Lucas Keith Mix. Woohoo! Thank you, brother. Thank you for that exchange of energy. He's the first donation tonight. Thank you so much, man. I can't do this without your guys' help. And he wrote a message. Are you good? Are you going to talk about the higher God realms? I'm particularly interested in any and all that has to do with the higher God realms. Well, this is actually the opposite of the higher God realms. These are the time matrix. That's tonight's video. So, yeah, what you're describing is the Kundalini, the cosmic matrix, because we're in the time matrix is a universal system, a universal matrix. So cosmos is much grander than a universe, much. There's no comparison. So those are the higher God realms, and it's called the stair-step process. And yes, brother, I will show something today that reflects some of those higher God worlds, but there's no way I'm going to go into that tonight because these are super advanced. Some of the higher advanced teachings in the Emerald Order video workshops. I don't even know all the higher God worlds, but I'm aware of the diagrams and how there's more than one time matrix. And so I actually would encourage you to go into those actual Oceana Dean workshops that go into those, like the Advanced Cathara. Sorry for the noise in the background. The Advanced Cathara 1, 2, there's a Cathara 3, there's a Cathara 4. I personally haven't even gone through all those, but I'm still going to encourage all of you who are interested in these teachings, because you're going to go farther than me, most likely. Some of you are, and that's okay. It's no competition here. So, I mean, I'm saying that because just today someone asked me a question I can't answer. I'm not a master or guru. I'm just familiar with mostly the Voyager's materials and Cathara. But that doesn't stop me from still encouraging all my brothers and sisters to don't limit your growth by what I'm doing on my channel. We're always encouraging. You will see in all of our lives, except when I'm doing an interview, but still the moderators are doing it, providing links to the advanced materials. And just like our brother Indigo Wizard mentioned in the interview on Saturday, yes, we need to start doing that together. But and that has been that's my intention. Just realize in my mind, I still got videos I want to pump out. It was always been known to me. It's always been strong in my energies that I'm meant to. Your brother Anuhazi is meant to expose all of the extraterrestrial beings and show pictures of them and make it very obvious who these people are from the Voyager's book too. Most of my teaching is based on Voyager's Book 2 because who else is doing it? Your brother is doing it. So I get people telling me I should be teaching this and I should be teaching that. No, brother, sister, maybe you should. I'm supposed to be teaching Voyagers 2. That's my main purpose of this channel. I'm not trying to yell or anything, sorry. It's just my energy, intensity. This is my job. This is my purpose, to illustrate, to bring to life in living color, even maybe a little short film eventually, of the Voyagers 2. So please, you guys, you can give me your advice, but this is what I'm going to be focusing on. If you're interested in the more higher advanced stuff, please check out the Oceana Dean videos. Get together in your groups like Dara Akasha, our sister, who we interviewed a couple times here. She's going to be doing that herself. That's her focus. This is my focus. Just saying. And that's going to take years. This is going to take years. Okay? Will I do some technique videos? Yes, I will. I plan on doing that, you guys, of course. But I'm not going to be repeating everything Ashana's done. I can't up one on Ashana. She's the master teacher. She's speaker one. She's the one that's representing the CDT plates and the translation of the CDT plates. So you can't replace that. I can do things like my diagram, like create tools that Oceana didn't, but that doesn't matter. Tools that help the modern students, 2025 students, understand these teachings better. I will do that. And I will do some technique videos. So please understand where I'm coming from. There's plenty of you who are getting very knowledgeable of those teachings. Maybe you, brother, sister, are being called to create your own YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook channel, and do that yourself. Maybe that is part of your mission. Look within and check. And if you're a new channel, hit me up. I will point, my traffic to you, just like I've done for Dara. She had a small channel. She's going to start getting more exposure by doing interviews with people like me or whoever else she's doing interviews with, or other people like our sister Rihanna. I want their channels to grow and blow up. So we're going to try to cooperate together, and the people that we trust and the people that are also covering these teachings and not putting their own slant, their own personal, like meshing their own personal ideas, like taking some astrology into their Christic teachings. So I trust Rihanna. I trust Dara. You will see Dara even talking about this SSP like I am, the Secret Space Program. I'm talking about the SSP. There's nothing wrong with that. We can talk about Christic information and on the side, talk about some of these things that are related to this. Because, you're going to see Ajana, Speaker 1, and the books and the videos expose these races. I'm exposing them because the teachers and the guardians have exposed them. Named them, told you what planets they're from, tell you what DNA templates they are. So this is coming out of my original personal, opinions. This is a universal law of one thing that is known by the guardians of the cosmos. So, when someone comes along, takes some of these teachings and mixes it in with their New Age BS, they're not doing anybody a service. They're doing a disservice. And people like me will expose that distortion. Machiwa. Thank you, Mix LKM. But yeah, brother, I will show a diagram so you get an idea tonight. So have a little bit of patience. That'll happen a little bit in this video. Georgina, thank you, sister. She says, congratulations to you and your twin flame. Machiwa! It's about time! And I just want to say publicly to transmute some frequency. It wasn't the girl I thought it was originally. That's all I'll say about that. And that's okay. You can think someone's your twin flame and they weren't, but then meet your real twin flame. Thank you, Georgina. G-Light in the house. Stardust Goddess, one of our moderators. Giannis 111, one of our moderators. Thank you, Star Sisters, holding down the frequency, the space with us, protecting our backs. And just so you guys know, our sister Celine, she's went to her home country, China, and so she will be gone for almost 3 weeks or more. She's, if you start seeing she's gone, she's not gone. She's just on vacation. So she'll be back in November. And bless her and send some. You guys, if you can, send some protection and positive vibes to our sister Celine Machiwa. So, I don't see Indigo Wizard. But, oh, Sir Madison, brother. What's up, Vato Loco? All right, the Nikki Colombo Show. You guys, I have to give a shout out to Nikki. You have to check her videos out. She's a singer. And what does she sing? She sings Christic lyrics, homies. What's up? Blessings to Nikki and her journey. Check out her work, you guys. She's in a work in process. She's blossoming. She's getting better and better. So check out what she's doing. I loved your last video, Nikki. Excuse me. I loved your last video. It was awesome, sister. I love the graphics, and of course you're singing in your lyrics. So glad to have you on the Team Light. Yeah. Yeah. And this is why we have 5, 6 moderators. You know, in case someone can't make it, like Celine or Indigo. I'm sure Indigo will pop in a little bit. So. You're welcome, Nikki. Bless you, sister. But yeah, you guys, let me show the time matrix. Because it's important to see it right now so you understand some of the things we're talking about tonight. And also, somebody please, one of you moderators, please put a link for my time matrix diagram. You'll see there's two diagrams, you guys. A digital download. I put it in big letters so you can see that it's a digital download. And then the physical one. The physical one cost me a lot of money just to create. I mean, it costs paper and all the ink and the design. That costs money. So it's obviously more expensive than the digital download. But I made both because people wanted a physical one. They didn't know it was just a download, but it is a download or a physical one. But they're two different products. So that's one of the ways you guys can support this work. So let me show you this diagram. It's an excellent study guide for these teachings. And not just the book, the Voyagers too. This has information from even the other advanced stuff series. So let me just show that on my screen. So, we're not living in some fake reality, guys. We're not in simulation theory. Sorry, that's distortion. I would even go to say some of that is intentional distortion out there in the narratives. When you see billionaires and corporations and the mainstream talking about that, we're living in the physical hologram of the third dimension. We're not in some fake reality. So this is a 15-dimensional system. 15 dimensions of the time matrix. That means there's 15 levels of reality. And it's a spiritual system. You're going from a low system and you grow and expand and evolve into the higher realities. Notice these are in sets of 3. There's 3 dimensions here, 3 dimensions in the second universe, 3 dimensions in the first universe, where we are experiencing the Earth system. This is the first holographic universe, also called density universe. You'll hear Ashana say it, and you see some of the teachings say either word. They'll either use the word holographic universe or they'll use density universe. I got accused of, I'm changing things around. No, I'm not. This is in the book as density or holographic universe. You can call them HU or DU, whichever one you prefer. I personally prefer density universe because people are conscious and aware that these are 5 different universes, but they're also 5 different levels of matter density. It's not so obvious if you call it a holographic universe, but when you call it a density universe, then yeah, you're addressing the different levels of matter, from carbon matter, carbon etheric matter. And by the way, our scientists and our mainstream only know of this universe, only talking about this universe. But there's other universes and other matters, not just carbon matter. There's carbon etheric matter. This universe no longer has carbon. It's just purely etheric. This one's hydroplasmic. That means matter starts becoming more like a liquid. It's called liquid, crystal liquid or liquid light. And then the highest level obviously is like hot plasma, where you're going to have a plasma body, baby. And by the way, in this universe, this is the universe where they're creating all the other alien races and universes. So this universe is before planets, before extraterrestrials. They don't exist yet. Only in the lower densities and holographic universes. These are the beings that we call the 3 flames. The blue flame, the gold flame. Holy cow! OMG! I didn't know it got cut off there in my diagram. OMG. I will fix that tonight, you guys. If not tonight, by tomorrow. And you can download the newest version of this diagram. One second. But it's not like a horrible mistake or an inaccurate thing. It's still the gold flame. And if you guys ever see any other mistakes or you don't agree, look in the bottom left and you can email me and tell me. But the newest version is from August of the 21st. So this diagram is only, today's the 21st. It's only 2 months old. So, and these are all the other recommended studies. Like I'm talking about Voyagers 2, but there, of course, there's Voyagers 1, there's Angelic Realities, there's Tangible Structures of the Soul, which is also a workshop. These last 4 are workshops. Cathara 1 through 4, and Sliders 1 through 12, and some of the Dance for Life, Dance for Love, Dance for Freedom videos. Man, you guys learn those. If you learn this, you're going to have no problems, baby. What's up? You will be awakening. You will be ascending. You will have psychic powers off the chart if you learn these systems. But there's a ton more systems I can't list in this little area. There's hundreds of workshops. So, and so this is an introduction to tonight's topic, the time matrix. The 15 dimensions, 15-dimensional time matrix, which is Now, let me explain something right here. The time matrix is actually right here. Okay, this is a one time matrix. But this is the within what's called the energy matrix. So this whole thing that's being referenced right here, a time matrix, a 15-dimensional time matrix, notice it's inside of the energy matrix. And you'll even hear Ashana herself describe this as spheres within spheres. It's spherical. I guess on this diagram it was at the top, I didn't leave it on this diagram. But it is intentionally created as a spherical system. Just saying. It's not flat. It's spherical. It's a sphere. Just like your Earth is a sphere, the universes are spherical, the cosmos is spherical. And that's according to the Guardians. So you can have your own distorted ideas and opinions, but this is an opinion. This is a spiritual science. And so this is all within the energy matrix, also called the Kundalini, also called, described as the primal sound fields. So this is before light. It is the holograms that are creating light systems, like primal light fields. Why we have light spectra, like pure white spectra, a dark silver, dark blue, silver, gold. These are all chakra colors, by the way, and frequency bandwidth light spectra. Violet, indigo, not purple. There's no such thing as a purple chakra, homie. Blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. Light spectra, frequency vibration. So this is a dimensionalized reality, you guys. And it's all, you would say, populated by consciousness, by collectives of consciousness. In the Kundalini, in the cosmos fields, they're called, there's no such thing as individuals. You're not going to find people here. People means you have a body. A person means you have physicality. These beings have no physicality. They don't go through the process of aging or dying, or there is no time space. It's just eternal existence, non-dimensionalized. And when you're outside of these terrestrial planets and worlds, you're called an ultra-terrestrial. So, so within the time matrix, though, the highest one, the density universe 5, is where we get the creator collectives. They're called the primal founders. These are the primal founders. This is Elohai, this is Seraphai, and this is Brahmarama. Notice they're the ones we're calling guardians. These are not guardians. These are not guardians. A guardian is some being who's outside of distortion. Distortion ends at D11. So everything, all the conscious families above 12th, in the 12th dimension and above are the guardians. We're not just making up some silly word. These are the beings that we refer to as guardians. They don't have distortion. They don't have darkness. They're not polarized in their consciousness. So, it means something when you say guardian. So these are the primal founders races. Okay? And they're the ones who create the, founders races in the lower dimensions, the extraterrestrials and the planets. So that's why density 5 is special. These beings don't have to go through incarnation, or they don't have to, they're not doing ascension. As a matter of fact, I've heard Ashiana say herself, they're always here. They will never leave. They're always serving as the Brenoa or Rishi. Okay, there's the Anuhazi word, Brenua, or solar Rishi. They're suns. They're hot plasma. Pale turquoise suns, pale yellow suns, and pale magenta suns. Notice they're like pastel colors, not the actual, vibrant color. These are pale versions. Pale turquoise is also your chakra that you focus on when you want to connect to Holy Elohai. Shaddai Ure Akum Tun. Shaddai Ure Akum Tun. Shaddai Ure Akum Tun. This is your connection to Elohai. When you say that affirmation in Anuhazi, that's an Anuhazi language. We memorize it and repeat it like an affirmation. Shaddai Ure Akum Tun. You're calling upon yourself, your guardian self, in density 5, baby. When you sing that song, when you sing that affirmation, Shaddai Ure Akum Tun. The blue flame guardians. And we have gold flame guardians and violet flame guardians. This is part of the matrix. The matrix was populated by source God's consciousness. See the arrow going? God put a piece of itself in one of these time matrices in the form of, it is the Janus. The Janus, that's what the ultra-terrestrials are. And that's where you get the word Ramayanus, Vachiyanus, and Grandayanus. And you'll hear Ashiana call herself an Ekar. She's coming from the Eka matrix. She's coming from the Grandayanus. As a matter of fact, you hear this word Melchizedek because the Melchizedek is a Grandayanus family. Our time matrix was created by a Grandayanus collective called Melchizedek. That's why you get this word Melchizedek Cloister Emerald Order, MCEO. That's what it means. That's where it's coming from. It's coming from the acknowledgement of the Janus called Grandayanus, an Ekar family. There it is, the Melchizedek Grandayanus who created our 15-dimensional time matrix. And so they first came in as Elohai. Now the gold flame is a lower family. Notice it's in the second level of the Kundalini. And it is the Polaric level 2 Ascended Masters, or Janus, who created the Seraphite beings. But Elohai is always going to be the strongest, the highest, the original. And then it was the third level Ascended Master, Janus, who created the violet flame races in our time matrix. So these are actually the primary founders. These are the primary founders who created the 3 different levels here. So you'll see blue flame created a race in the 12th dimension and in the 11th dimension. Anuhazi and the Anu, who go on to create the Anunnaki. But as you can see in bold red, their race fell. So that's now a fallen angelic race. So we have the blue flame ETs, extraterrestrials, and we have in the lower 10th dimension the gold flame. The gold flame Seraphite races. But you'll see 2 of them fell. And then we have the violet flame races, and there's only 4 of them, primary founders who did not fall. None of their races fell. Most of all these dark stuff you hear about is between 2 factions. The Elohai and the Seraphite and their fallen races. The Elohai, remember the Anu I just showed you? The Anu blue flame fell, and a lot of the gold flame fell. The reptilian dinoids did. Sorry, wrong place. The insectoid dinoid reptiles called dragon moths, the Omicron dragon moths, and the Odedicon avian reptilians. But also some of the insectoids fell, the lower insectoids, not the higher guardian and athean, mantis. And you guys, you're going to have people say, oh, the mantis beings are evil. You guys, there are quadrillions of extraterrestrial races. Quadrillions. How many millions of insectoids do you think there are? Do you think all insectoids are evil? Okay? No. There are some that are good. So the main insectoid race did not fall, but the lower family races did. Like these Zeta gray aliens did. They fell. Now they're fallen angels, not guardians. So in the gold flame, you had the reptilians and the dragons and the insect beings fall. And so now it's a big spiritual war between the blue flame and the gold flame. And their Elohai, Elohim, Seraphi, Seraphim, extraterrestrial races. This is what the time matrix, what is going on in our time matrix. It's a spiritual war from the 11th dimension and down. So on this living time matrix, it only starts at 11D and lower. That's why you don't see any labels for guardians. Now, you could be a guardian who came in to these lower dimensions and you're representing the guardian, but you're going to have distortion. You're not like the guardians who don't have distortion. So it's a bit of a challenge coming to these lower distorted levels and dealing with the fallen angels. So I just wanted to give a preface to that. But since I have this open, let me open the other one real quick. Just give me a second, guys. Images, Christos avatar. And this, I wonder if I put this on my server. I don't know, but let me find this first. Thanks for your patience. It's probably under graphics and sorry guys. It's important to show it, so I'm going through the effort of looking for it. Of course, it's not here where I'm trying to look. Images. Oh my gosh, man. Maybe it's in emerald order. Yeah, I found it in emerald order. I don't know if this is a high-res image. It's maybe not a high... This is the higher God worlds, but this is not a high-res image. I have a high-res image, man. Let me look on my server for my website. Maybe it's in there. View as... Yeah, you guys. I'm just gonna have to... I can't go deep into this then, but you'll see a rough idea. This is one time matrix. Just one. It looks like one of these. This is like one 15-dimensional time matrix in the tree of life type of form. You know, this is going to have 12 points, not 10 like the distorted occult Kabbalah says there's only 10. No, there's 12. This huge time matrix is laid out like the tree of life, the real tree of life, like this. And we're just one of them. And notice that these go in a set of two. We have our particle and the antiparticle. And then you see that there's a double. So there's 4 time matrices right here. And then this fits into greater systems like this. I can't even zoom in because it doesn't make sense, because this is not a high-res picture. I can't find it right now, but it keeps on going into these greater systems. And this is the final greater system. The stairway to heaven, the Eka God worlds. So this is something you gotta learn in the advanced Cathara, man. This is something I can't cover in one night. There's no way. You're gonna have to watch a 20-hour workshop, for example, to understand it. This is advanced spiritual science, and this is why it's a lifetime of work that Ashiana produced from the CDT plates. Translations of the CDT, the Guardian Cloister Dora Terra plates. So, Machiwa. How you guys doing? What's up, homies? Brothers in Christ? Christos? Giannis, Star Sister, thank you so much, sister, for that exchange of energy. Bless you. I like your little animation there. Is that coffee or hot chocolate? Thank you for supporting this work. Thank you for being here. Starman in the house. Woohoo! So happy to see you, brother. How you doing, man? Yeah, just realize that, you guys, Starman is usually here. He's just in the background. Just be aware that he's here. You can always give a shout out to Starman. Yeah. Oh, we get some problems earlier, guys? What's up, Indigo Wizard? Woohoo! Good to see you, brother. I miss Starman, says Pink Lemon. And then Starman pops up, right? He's still here, you guys, as you can see. Sunsmile, any tips to initiate contact? Well, it's actually about your chakras and activating your chakras. You'll have contact for sure, right? Here's a tip that I will get demonized for. Take some psilocybin. You will meet, but responsibly. You want to make sure you fasted, at least for a whole day. You want to make sure that you're not having drama in your life before you meet the guardians, before you meet your higher selves. Don't be irresponsible. I give you that tip, but I give it with a responsibility. You want to make sure your frequencies are good. You're not having anything out of whack. And actually, you should be in a state where you're seeing synchronies. Now you're ready and responsible enough for a plant medicine connection. But I want to show you, there's actually something in Angelic Realities that talks about your question. So let me put that on screen. Angelic Realities book. PDF, which one of my moderators will give you guys a link to that PDF as well. Open Angelic Realities. That's how we roll. There's no paywall to the teachings. I'm not going to put exclusive Ashiana videos in my membership. That's BS. If I put some workshop in the members area, that's because I put the closed captions by hand. Can you imagine doing a 20-hour video workshop by hand, all of the closed captions? AI can't do it accurately. So don't tell me I did it by AI. I did not do it by AI. I literally will do 1 hour at a time. It will take me a few days to do 1 hour. Literally, guys. So this is why I put a couple of them in there that I have done personally the closed captions for, but you can still find the workshops online, man. Especially at Christic Symbiosis BitChute channel. There's YouTube, but there's a whole other platform called BitChute. So, and they don't censor people like they do on YouTube. So other people have put all of the workshops on BitChute, and including the ones like Cathara. So, but let me put this on the screen. PDFs. There we go. Contact. Let me see if it's in the, if there's a, I don't think there is a context. Well, let me just put the word contact. Maybe I'll find it. Contact. Oh, there's like visitor methods of contact. That's not what we want. Realizing the role, what not to do. Emerald Order protocols for contact. Page 59. That's what? Page 54, the PDF page is not the same as the actual book page, so I have to go look in the actual book page. There we go. Emerald Order, that's on PDF page 91. Contactee must sincerely desire to reclaim their spiritual heritage. Okay, so this is what you do before, okay? And to learn and honor the natural laws of consciousness and creation, like these teachings talk about. I would say, if you're hip on the attitudes and responsibilities of mastery, if you understand what Christ consciousness is and unity consciousness. So this is the guardians telling you protocols for contact, like our one of our family members just asked. Emerald Order contacts will meet human effort, put effort on the same terms. They will meet us halfway, but we are expected to do our part in learning, growing, and becoming responsible for our actions, energy fields, and creations. This is why I told you, you want to make sure you're following the guardian path before you even try this. EO is Emerald Order. Emerald Order contacts will always approach humans with respect, honor, kindness, and love, and expect in return a reciprocal respect and kindness in dealing with Emerald Order contacts. They will not accept contact with humans who display rude, demanding. Of course not. I mean, this is obvious. Judgmental, condescending, elitist attitudes, nor will they engage conscious contact with people who attempt to disown personal power. You know, you're like a vampire to other people. Or they don't want you worshiping them because that's the fallen angelic way. You're not meant to worship ET gods. And the Emerald Guardians don't want to be worshipped. They're saying it right here, right in front of you. They encourage self-sovereignty. That means you, that's one of the attitudes of mastery, self-sovereignty, that you're reflecting that. You know, that's why you don't worship, because you know, and the guardians know that you're part of the one, law of one, and you express equality via personal spiritual integration. You guys want contact? Well, this is what you do. Emerald Order will initiate subtle contact. That means like in your dreams, in your medicine, in your altered states of consciousness, subtle, and communicate before offering physical proof of contact, and expect humans who desire contact to take responsibility for consciously working to develop subtle contact. That means, hello, learn to develop your chakras, learn to develop your psychic abilities. Because that's how they're going to connect to you, with psychic abilities. So if you haven't taken the time and responsibility of doing that and developing that, what do you expect? You're not going to expect an actual communication then. If desired, Emerald Order will assist humans in DNA template bioregenesis. Wow. This is probably why I highlighted this. You know, this is something I want to talk about for a second. People falling. Fallen angels falling. Or fallen people in their consciousness falling. Consciously ask the guardians. You're not alone. They're around, just like fallen beings are around. The guardians are around, and you're raising your frequency up to their level. I mean, up to the Christic level, an RNA level, a unity level. They're gonna, you'll be able to facilitate that connection, that contact. Otherwise, you're not going to facilitate jack. Your low vibrations, well, gee, they're going to connect to low vibrations. You want to connect to these high-level guardians? Your frequencies need to be reciprocal to that. It's common sense if you think about it, right? But will not do so without your conscious request. It's just like when you're doing affirmation work or manifestation work. You have to do it with conscious mindfulness. And they're not going to just come to you without your request. Okay? Conscious request. I would even say verbal request. And I would even say request it more than once. Like you repeat affirmations, well, repeat your contact request several times, several days, weeks, whatever. For individuals who work with initiating and developing subtle contact with Emerald Order visitors, eventual physical verification of contact will be provided. If crisis emergencies on Earth, and this is old news now, obviously it's 2025, but hopefully that gave you an idea. And it talks about some of the more. And this is once again, in the Angelic Realities PDF. It's a book, but it's also a PDF like I'm showing you right now. Machiwa! And so, that gives you an idea. It's all about consciousness. You do it through consciousness, but a very mindful way of doing it. So, stay hydrated. Let me tell you guys something. From my heart to yours. Because I will get haters. Well, maybe you don't hate me, but you're still going to say I'm wrong to talk about psilocybin. I did exactly what you just saw. I did it exactly before my psilocybin sacred medicine. And boy, oh boy, did they come lucidly, man. It was way over my expectations. So I made that now I do that all the time when I go on sacred medicine. I'm not talking about weed. That ain't cutting it. Guardians ain't meeting you on this medicine. I'm talking about sacred psilocybin. Or even ayahuasca. I just freaking flagged my video, right? Anyways, other Christic people will disagree. So if you're part of that crew, you don't agree with me, but other people will understand that. I'm telling you my experiences, you guys. I just did that exact protocol you just saw on the screen, and it came to me in like godlike, lucid, living brilliance, man. Just saying. I can confirm that it's not BS. It's the real thing. And the physical thing too. Oh my gosh. It is my long-held belief that when I was abducted, taken by a UFO, I always believed it was a guardian, and I was reaching out to the guardians. I didn't say, please give me physical proof, but it happened anyways. That's a physical thing. Seeing this incredible, and I'm taking my twin flame. I'm gonna show her where this happened. This came across this mountain I was camping in my humble homelessness. I was homeless in this time in my life. These high-level guardians came to me when I was homeless in the desert of Nevada. So I can attest for that is real, man. So hopefully you guys, the person who asked that, will have the same type of experience. And don't give up, you guys. You want to have, like my journey was like this, right? Beautiful, fantastic things, and then you go down in some of your low distortions, and then you go back up and down. We're living in distortion in this world. This planet fields have been distorted. So we're going to experience some distortion. We can't be our perfect selves, even though that exists. And you can't experience it for hours or days. I've experienced it for hours, a perfected state. Where it felt like lightning going through my body. I felt my part of my arm go through my wall here in this humble abode. Supernatural things happened here. And I don't need to convince you. That's not the purpose of me saying that. But I'm saying is you can experience these density 3 selves, density 4 selves, ascended master selves, Elohai selves. Like I said, way more than I could possibly, in my 3D level, expect. Way beyond my expectations. When I was experiencing it, and after I'd experienced it, I'm like, how is that possible? How did I experience that? How is that? It doesn't make sense. But it's possible. And this is to all the haters who say psilocybin is a sin or wrong or evil. Just saying. Machiwa. Indigo Wizard, brother, also donation 999, powerful numbers. It will not allow me to type everything. I would like to say here on the super chat, thanks again for opportunity to share. Much gratitude. Thank you, brother. So happy to have that interview with you. Thank you for your exchange of energy. You're here doing service with us. We're so happy to have you, brother. And, we all know none of us are perfect. We're not masters or, we all have levels of distortion. Even Speaker One. We all have levels of distortion. And so we acknowledge that. We don't entertain that distortion. We want to transmute as much of that as possible while we're manifest in 3D. But we have these examples in the ANRs, attitudes of responsibility, attitudes of mastery. We have these records. We have our forbidden history. It ain't the mainstream history. Now it's a million-year history, guys. Hundreds of millions of years of history that it's being hidden, but not by the guardians. So, oh yeah, and by the way, I'm just wearing this for the hell of it, but this is also kind of like my mask when I sleep. Like, I have short hair now. I don't need it to hold my hair away. Now it's for my mask. Like, when I'm trying to sleep and I don't want any sunlight when I wake up in the morning, I just go like this. Instead of wearing an actual sleeping mask, I just do this now. So, excuse me. But yeah, you guys, I want to say, you guys, I survive right now. I'm surviving off of donations, so please help this live chat tonight. Let's try to reach at least $100 mark today, you guys. I know what my cost of living is, and I know that at least if you guys are helping me, because when I did interviews, nobody thinks about donating because they don't see me talking, right? So I missed out on a few donations for sure. So please, you guys, support this channel. If you like my videos, $5 helps, $10, $50, whatever you feel called to. Thank you, guys. I'm just putting some more incense down. That's all, guys. I'm sorry. Well, I don't need to be sorry. I'm just excusing myself. I like some amber. So the time matrix is this, wait. Yeah. I just want to make sure I took down the diagram, but it's showing the diagram. Let me refresh the screen. What? Okay, it just took a while to refresh. Looks like we're good. So. And by the way, you guys, I'm still working on my Necromaton video. These are the insectoid beetle people, reptilians. They're a big player. And they're the ones behind Archangel Michael. They're the ones behind Men in Black. And so they're the ones that are behind the Andromedan channeling contacts. And you'll hear Ashana herself say 9 times out of 10, if you're connecting to these Andromedans, 9 times out of 10, it's these fallen angelic necromatons. That video should be hopefully done by tomorrow. I plan on doing it by tomorrow. So, so we're not living in a video game. We're not living in a virtual reality. We're not living the what do you call it? These beings, these aliens haven't taken our consciousness and put it in some fake world. It's BS, you guys. These are out in the New Age, man. We're in the real reality. And you reincarnate in the same real reality. Just because it's vibrating doesn't mean it's fake. Doesn't mean it's a virtual reality or some elite program that they're putting our consciousness to. That's not what's going on. We're living in the hologram, and we live and die and reincarnate here. It's holographic in nature. It's based on particle physics, which are what the Guardians call ultra micro particles, because the scientists have found the particles and explained particles science, physics, but they have not found the ultra micro particles, which are themselves creating particles of science, mainstream science, and which are themselves creating all objects and forms. But it's all vibration, oscillation, and polarization. Everything is polarized into an antiparticle existence. This is part of the time matrix. It has the particle matrix, ultra micro particles called particae, particum, particae. So they took particae and polarized it. When I say they, I mean the Ascended Masters, the Solar Rishi, the God Source, intentionally took this dimensionalized system and polarized it into an antiparticle system. This is part of the matrix experience. You exist here, and you also exist in the antiparticle universe, also called the parallel universe, parallel Earth, parallel you. You have a parallel self going through all the 15 dimensions, just like you are going through the 15 dimensions. It's actually 12 dimensions. Remember, the fifth density, you don't go through incarnation there. My nose is itching. I have to use a napkin. I don't like to use my finger. That's how I keep my skin oil free. But if I have an itch, sorry. Stop itching. Okay. The vibration. It's vibration that's creating these tiny particles, and those tiny particles are creating the dimension 1 subatomic life. Atomic particles, subatomic particles is particae that's flashing. It's not only vibrating and oscillating at different speeds, but it's actually disappearing and reappearing on the antiparticle, disappear, reappear in the particle, disappear, reappear in the antiparticle. We're flashing on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. We're always disappearing and reappearing while we're, this is existence here in the time matrix. This is what manifest physical reality is. You see, the quantum physicists have a more of an idea of it, but they don't talk about the multiple dimensions of reality. These are temporal dimensions, not length, width, height. Those aren't the dimensions we're talking about. We're talking about temporal dimensions, different space-time levels that you can't travel light speed to. You have to jump from this frequency vibration, go through a stargate to a faster frequency vibration. You see, that's not about freaking traveling there, taking light years or hundreds of light years. No. And it's the same thing with abduction, like a Zeta Gray alien. I was just talking about this with my twin flame. What's up, baby? That they take you out of the third dimension with their technology, not light technology, not light body Merkaba technology, but with their UFO technology. They take their they take you, abduct you from the third dimension to another dimension. And then return you back to where they took you from. So you can lose time. You got all kinds of abductees, contactees talking about the missing time. Same with our brother Indigo Wizard in Saturday's Live. He talked about missing time in his own abduction. Plural abductions. So you're going to feel, and that's actually your key. If you feel missing time or confused or what just happened, that's probably what happened. Whether it was a fallen angelic gray alien, Zeta Gray, or a guardian. They took you out of time. I always forget to say that in my own UFO experience. You guys, I felt that because think about this. You were out of your 3D body. You know, even the secret space program, it talks about they can transfer consciousness because you are the consciousness. You're not the physical body. So this is why they can take your consciousness and put it into a clone body. That was anatomically correct clone body. It's not human tech. It's alien tech. They can clone every single cell of your body. And it's a clone. And put your consciousness, because your DNA clone is tied to your consciousness, tethered to your cells, so it can go into a clone body. You guys, I've even heard Ashana in the teachings say that even the guardians have used clones for their purposes, not the same purposes as the fallen angels are using clones for. So what I'm trying to say is it's not an evil thing to use clones. It depends on what you're using clones for. Because I've even heard Ashana explain that in the final conflict, if there is a world war or an end game, because it happened in parallel Earth, it could happen here if it did, because whether there's some awakening or not, you guys, there's still gonna be 3 different timelines. Not everyone's on the Ascension Awakening timeline. You have to accrete your frequency to go into that higher timeline. If you're one of those people with a low vibration, you're going into the falling timeline. So there's different timelines. There's the Phantom Earth timeline. It's not my ideas. It's coming from Voyagers, baby. It's coming from these teachings. There's a Phantom Earth timeline. There's a Inner Earth timeline. And there's a Tara 5D timeline. Which one are you accreting to? In this life, you want to accrete to the 5D Guardian timeline. You know, when you drop the body and you die, you're going to go to the 5D body. Some people, when they drop their body down here, they're going to the lower timeline, the not so fun timeline. This is part of the matrix. This is what is happening in ascension or descension. Some beings are expanding, some beings are fragmenting, becoming lesser. De-evolving. I don't know about you guys, but I want to evolve. I don't want to de-evolve. I want to heal my distortion, not develop more distortion. Fragmentation. Losing memory. Losing what? Your senses, your extrasensory, they say we have 5, but no, you have 12 senses. That's talked about in this book that I showed earlier. The 12 senses, not this 5. What's that? Machiwa! Woohoo! Oh, another one from Mix LKM. Lucas Keith Mix. What's up, homie? Thank you very much for that exchange, second exchange. Oh, if you break down, he left a message in it. If you break down my first, Lucas, my middle, Keith, and my last, Mix. you will find the word Kagzilt in it. And of course, X is Roman numerals for the number. Thank you for that, Holy One. Skyrim. And that's the cat people in the video game called Elder Scrolls of whatever game, and that one's Skyrim. So I'm a Elder Scrolls player too. I mean, I used to play that a long time ago. Well, much respect. And which is connected to the Lyran cat people, you know, the Anuhazi, the Lyranines. Woohoo! Thank you, brother, for that exchange of energy. Yeah, we're still live, Zachary. Yeah, this interface changed a little bit, so it's just frustrating. I don't see everything I want to see, or maybe I'm on the wrong tab. It doesn't tell me anymore. I can't see how many donations have I got tonight. That's silly. Why did they do that? I can't tell now. All I can do now is manually add. So $65 more, you guys. If you guys can please help with $65 more, a couple of you could come up with that. So thank you guys so much. This is how I can keep on rolling. I really need the help in this time of my life. So much respect for you guys' support. Thank you so much. And we got Sun Smile. Any tips on shadow work? I like your symbol, by the way. Your icon's profile symbol. Shadow work is... I don't talk about it from the New Age point of view. Shadow. That's distortion. Work on your distortion. You work on what your distortion in what you say and speak, what you think. So anything that is negative, anything that is profane, you catch yourself, you stop yourself. And you get used to stopping and correcting yourself. You correct yourself when you have distorted thoughts. You correct yourself, let's say you hurt someone or you know, emotionally or psychologically. You fix that, you adjust that, you heal that, and you keep on fixing that. That's shadow work. You keep on working on your shadow, on your distortions over and over. Correct myself. You say the opposite of an anger thought or word. You say the opposite, the good side, the good version of that. You keep on reversing the reversal. That's shadow work. You get used to getting rid of any type of physical distortions is related to your health. Even your brother Enahazi is still working on that. I'm not perfect in that area. I am working out again, but I still have some lymphatic inflammation. You want to work on your emotional distortions, shadow. That means any of your own depressing thoughts, jealous thoughts, emotions, any anger-related emotions. You catch yourself from doing that and get in a whole different way of acting and reacting. You don't want to trigger. You want to just be able to stay in that frequency. And after a while, you guys, you're going to see a whole new person. That's shadow work. That's my definition. And people are going to have their own ideas of shadow work. It's just so... Another way to say it is distortion work. Physical distortions. This is your temple. Treat it like a temple. If you got some ailments, some problems, that's reflected somewhere. It's coming from what you're doing in your life. Oh, it's genetic. You guys, again, even if you got genetic diseases, whatever diseases you're experiencing, whatever symptoms, whatever circumstances in your life, it has to do with your current incarnation, or karma, previous incarnation. Either way, you got to work on it. Some people are just here to heal their karma. That's part of your shadow work. You got to take care of those physical distortions, emotional, psychological, and spiritual distortions. That's shadow work. Ego work, that's just as important. Ego work and shadow work is beginner stuff. That's the thing that you do at the beginning of your spiritual journey. But I still see supposed spiritual people still stuck in their ego. Coming from a space of ego. That's beginner stuff, homie. You ain't fooling nobody but yourself. Legitimate light workers see false light. They see that you haven't gotten it yet. You're still speaking judgment. You're still speaking, like spiritual snobs do. They think you're better now that they know some information, some knowledge. Oh, now I'm better, or they act better, or I'm enlightened. What are you? Right? You'll see those people a mile away. You put boundaries on those people, unless it's your mission to work with them in some way or another. I just put boundaries there. You ain't messing up my mojo, honey, right? My spiritual mojo. You be very mindful of who you call a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a husband, or a wife. You be very mindful of who you put in your energies. You're sitting next to somebody, you're sharing energies, and you live with that person day and night. You're being one way or another. You're influencing each other. This is why you be very mindful of who you have in your life. So let me ask you a question. Who's in your life right now? Who's in your household who's not serving your spiritual awakening? Who's in your relationship? Are they aligned with your spiritual awakening? It doesn't mean you don't, have anything to do with 3D people. That's ridiculous. That's not the message. What I'm saying is you be very mindful of who affects your energies. That's part of being a guardian. You're not just mindful of yourself. You're mindful of those around you. And you coordinate your life strategically, consciously, mindfully. That's one of the A&Rs, mindfulness. So be mindful. Start having a diary. Start writing things down. Start going into nature and meditating. Mindfulness, awareness of self. Be in that presence. Be in the moment now, which is eternal. Be in the eternal self, the eternal state. Machiwa. Fato locos. What's up, homies? Have you seen The Matrix? You said as Stardust Goddess, love yourself. It doesn't mean play with yourself. I mean, if you want to, you can. But love yourself. Just being silly. Loving yourself means, because some people can't love themselves. Because other people have put it in their life, maybe parents, maybe partners, maybe friends. Wow, nice friends, right? Have said, made you feel bad about yourself. That's part of your healing, you guys. You learn how to have self-love. And there's also something called soft love. Right? This is talked about in Kathara, in the Dance for Life, Dance for Joy, Dance for... that's part of these earlier workshops. Hard love. But there's also something called omni love. That's what separates this spirituality, Christic spirituality, from religion. So many people are trained not to love everything, I mean, I just saw it recently. Just recently, I saw some spiritual person say, I cannot love someone who molested children. I can understand. I can understand why. But that's not omni-love, is it? You can love all life. That includes demons and fallen angels. And it doesn't mean you're feeling sorry. Okay? It means that you understand that's part of source God in the hologram experience that is distorted. Source God isn't distorted. It's a piece of God that gave itself free will in the hologram experience that became distorted. It's still part of source. But it's in the hologram. Dimensionalized, distorted hologram fields. So it's definitely just I mean, the whole matrix is just this huge program or spiritual consciousness program. Kind of like not a machine, but it is an architecture of light. It's an architecture of energy and consciousness. And higher Janus consciousness goes inside these structures and experiences multidimensional experiences. It's kind of like, you could use the analogy of like you're playing a video game and you have this, and you keep playing this game until you die. But it resets for you. The game will reset and you create a new life and you get to try it again. Well, that's sort of what's happening in the Matrix. We are experiencing this life, and then, all those lives or player or games that you played, they're all in the computer or the device that you have. It's in the computer of the phone or whatever. It's stored in this data at once. Let's say you played 100 times in the Matrix. It's all stored. That's what you call the Akashic records for consciousness. There's a record. Doesn't go away. It's there. Everything you did before, everything you're going to do later in the Matrix, whether it's in 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D, it's all being stored and recorded in your DNA, in your crystal body, in your morphogenetic field. All your multidimensional cells are being saved. Push save this life in case I die, and try again, reincarnate. I died, now I came back alive. I'm doing this game of life again. You're playing another role, another incarnation, another identity. You have all these identities and all these incarnations, and you're going through all of them. And it's kind of like you're going in a game. And in a game, you go to the easiest level. You start at the easiest level, and then you get good at it. You get good at that level of game. And then you win. And then you go to level 2. Okay, level 2 is harder than level 1, but you're still going to keep on learning more, developing more skills, developing more knowledge and awareness. You get to level 3. Kind of like in school, kindergarten, first grade, second grade. Dimension 3, dimension 4, dimension 5, dimension 6. This is the time matrix. This is the real time. The real matrix. Not the movie matrix. It's a spiritual consciousness tool. It's a Janus Ascended Master tool. Let's go to the Melchizedek time matrix. Have you been to the Melchizedek one yet? No, let's go. I'm going to incarnate my family there, and you're going to incarnate your family. I'll see you down there, homie. What's up? Hey, you want to be twin flames? Yeah, let's try that. I'll be your twin flame. All right, homie. Let's go into the Melchizedek cloister time matrix. and I'll meet you there. I might forget, because I've heard you go into the Earth system, you're going to forget me. I'm going to find you, baby. I'm going to find you, homie. We're going to fall in love and have Christic babies, indigo babies and stuff. I'm going to see you down there. I'm going to remember. I hope you remember. You're going to remember? I remember. You remember? Giannis, Ascended Masters, come into the time matrix and they populate 12 dimension all the way down. They're in 12D, 11D, 10D simultaneously. Your 1D self is experiencing subatomic life. Your 2D self is experiencing plant life and animal life and elemental life, like fairies, brownies, sprites. Your 3D self is experiencing human life. Maybe you're on Sirius, or maybe you're on Alcyon. Maybe you're Palladian, human, Syrian. This is the time matrix. Not like Neo and Trinity and Mr. Smith, okay, where you're just playing a game and you can come out of it by going to a phone booth. Just as we exposed with Tom Althouse in The Matrix, it's about using this freaking neural link. In the movie The Matrix, they all get in the neural link to experience a simulation. This is not what we're talking about tonight. This is the real Matrix. It's a 15-dimensional spiritual consciousness tool. And think about it. All of your experiences as an avatar. And the Guardians say in these teachings, it's 1,728 selves. Your avatar experiences that many identities. Your avatar identity is 1,728 identities minimum. Because if you're an indigo, you have up to 5,000, 6,000 identities because you did more incarnations. And that's explained in Voyagers when they talk about the different ascension codes. You got the Mu'a, Lemuria Mu. You got the U, Mu, U, and a couple other levels of ascension codes, fire letters. And so, that's why, like starseeds and indigos have more lifetimes, more incarnations. But that's what you are as an avatar. Giannis came in, Ascended Master came in as an avatar that had all these different identities. This is the Matrix. You're not just Neo, you're not just Trinity. You're Neo, and you're maybe an indigo child, maybe you're an Azurite, maybe you're a Leonine cat people, maybe you're a beetle insectoid, maybe you're a serpent Anunnaki. This is the Matrix. We have particle matrix, we have anti-particle matrix, we have phantom matrix. That's reverse consciousness. That's anti-God, anti-human, anti-life. Some people choose that path of chaos. I follow the path of order, like many of my other brothers and sisters, following unity, omni-love, who are representing the true intention of Source God. We're not playing homage and worshiping and giving our power over to extraterrestrial gods that have gender and bodies and names. No, thank you. I don't think so. Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah, Brahma, Thoth, Osiris, Isis. I don't think so. That's your realization. We've taken our power back in the Matrix and realize what the Matrix is. It's a temporary tool. And if all of these beings, all of your, let's say just one avatar, all of your identities, what is that doing? When a being from Ascended Master level comes in and has all these experiences, all these identities, and you're part of the one creator, you're part of Source God, that is Source God's way of learning. That is Source God's way of evolving. God, Source, is having all of these identities, all of these incarnations in the matrix, and they come out of the matrix with that memory, with that living knowledge, back into the eternal collectives of consciousness. So the matrix is, and there's 24 of them. The Melchizedek one is just one of them. We're one of 24 time matrices. All of the time matrices are feeding back to Source. God is creating. God is expanding. Always, every nanosecond, every single second, all of us are part of that process. You're part of the consciousness of God expanding. That's what matrices are for. It's a tool for these eternal collectives to come in and experience all these different manifest individualizations and have all these experiences, and then that's an ongoing cycle. Maybe you ascended and left. Well, other ascended masters are coming in and experiencing that. And it keeps on and keeps on. That's the cycle of manifest life and non-manifest life. Non-manifest becomes manifest and then returns back to non-manifest. That which was a spirit became a hologram and then returned back to its original eternal self. It's temporary. We're not limited to being a human. We're not limited to being a Martian or a reptilian or an Anunnaki or an insectoid or anything, an animal, a plant, a bug, a subatomic particle consciousness. We're not limited to that. God is great, and so are you, holy ones. I love you. Thank you so much, you guys, for being with me tonight. Yeah, baby, what's up? You got Spiritual Ascension. Bring in another donation. Blessings, holy ones. Omni love. Thank you so much for your assistance today. Bless you. And Lucas Keith Mix in the house again, making another message. Thank you for that other donation, brother. I'm assuming. I can't see your gender. I've always, Lucas Keith guy, so I've always been obsessed with the Skyrim cat people. I play the cat people too because they're the most intelligent ones that use the magic. Like they have the most bonuses for magic characters, and that's why I chose that race because they have the highest bonuses for when you're casting spells and doing alchemy. Now that we're talking about a video game, I'm not doing that stuff in real life, okay? I'm just commenting on our brother Lucas. You said it, Sister Giannis. Highly ascended beings don't need AI. That conscious eternal beings don't meddle around making formless conscious beings, formless, what these guardians do is they create DNA templates through genetic experimentation. They're not messing around creating computer life, computer consciousness, digital, electronic consciousness. So they do create, however, actual real bodies for actual consciousness to go inside of it. The AI is not really natural in that way, as Yana said. So, but one thing you guys have to understand, if you really, really think about it, there's no such thing as artificial. There's no such thing that does not have source consciousness. So how could we call anything artificial? That's just a human point of view. Oh, artificial intelligence, computer consciousness. You guys, it's part of Source God. So always remember that in the back of your mind, guys. Everything that you see is part of God. A piece of plastic is part of God. You know, my keyboard is part of God. Everything is part of God. Actually, I saw that today. Where did I see that? It was on Facebook. I can't go find it, but it's somewhere buried. I saw something that had a little simple diagram and it showed all these things in life. They showed people, they showed trees, and they showed bugs, and they showed animals, and they put little arrows next to each one and everything in the picture. God. This is God. The tree is God. The person is God. Everything is God. Including something called artificial intelligence. It's still part of God. But in the context of the human drama and the extraterrestrials that are attacking our world, well, that is considered negative, distorted consciousness. And you can't say everything that is considered AI is bad. Because you'll see people in the world say this. Oh, you're making AI art. You guys, AI art is not part of the paradigm of taking over human civilization. It's a tool. It's an asset. People use it for all kinds of reasons. What are you doing with AI? That is what makes it something negative or positive. Just like, think about this. Computers help humans do their things in daily life. Is that evil? It's not evil. Okay? So some programs are written to serve you in one way or another, like help you make things easier in your life. Same with some AI programs. They help you make your life easier. It doesn't have, not all AI applications are meant to take over your soul. This is a fear that some people have, that everything AI is bad, and they don't allow it. They will demonize it wherever they see it. That's their distortion. That's on them, not on you. And you just transmute it like Aikido. You know, someone's come at you with force. Aikido is transmuting that force. That's your spiritual kung fu. When someone comes at you with these distortions, like all AI is evil, and like religious people think all aliens are evil, you just transmute it. You don't allow that into your field, right? Machiwa. Okay, thank you, Giannis. Sunshine asked, any tips on initiating contacts? But, oh, that was at 6:52. Yeah, we did that one a long time ago. Thank you, Giannis. Appreciate you. Very much. So, that was a question that we already answered. Well, that was my whole thing, bro. We exist in Source God's time matrix. Artificial, you could say, yeah, it was created by a lab, it was created by a computer, but it's still alive. It's still within Source. It still has particuli that created it. Particuli is in computers, it's in software, it's in code. So what I'm saying is, we can't say something is not alive. That's my message. You can't say something is artificial, but within the context of the human language, it, like Indigo said, it implies that it was created by a programmer. Okay? But the program the programmer and the computer and the software and the digits are all part of source God. But what we do in communication is we explain that, well, this is created by guardian races and genetics and body forms and the process of spiritual awakening and ascension. But AI wasn't created that way. That's we have to have a very interesting, intelligent conversation when we talk about stuff like artificial intelligence. Even guardians will use artificial intelligence, but they're not doing it in a bad way. Just like they have the capabilities of making black goo intelligent. My interview with Dara Kasha, that's been around, by the way. That's not coming from us. We're covering that information. It's not new. Okay, these races can create. You can take this candle and make it alive through artificial intelligence, embedding it with nanites. I don't want to stay. I want to stay away from those keywords, but it's not magic. Because consciousness is alive everywhere. Literally, everything is alive. This is alive. And extraterrestrial aliens can know how to put intelligence and consciousness in there. But it already had consciousness. You can't say anything is artificial. But when we're speaking to each other and trying to explain stuff, we will use terms like artificial intelligence. It's one of those big concepts that everything is alive. Everything is God's source. Everything is within source. So, humans make AI, aliens make AI. Multidimensional beings make AI. Guardians use AI. The Guardians make spaceships. Guardians make computers. Guardians make programs. Guardians make, but the Guardians are also meditating, are also connecting to their light body, are also developing their Merkabahs and light fields. Okay? You have this in your experience. You're doing a balance of this. You're doing both. You will have, but what you want to do is work from the organic architecture of your human DNA. That's where the whole transhumanism comes in. You don't want to be messing with your DNA, which you're originally supposed to be using. You're supposed to be using, and that's what these teachings are using, the natural organic architecture of your DNA template. The one that's called angelic human diamond sun, baby. We're not supposed to become cybernetics. We're not supposed to be operating from AI. We're supposed to be operating from our own original DNA templates that has become distorted in the matrix. And we know who distorted it, and we've had these distortions in previous timelines, in Atlantis, in Lemuria. We've had we even fell into this distortion from Tara. So you better believe that some alien races are gonna use AI as weapons. But not all AI is bad. And we can agree to disagree, Holy Ones, and still be friends. And still, love each other. Still have sex if you want to. I disagree with you, but let's have sex. Yeah. So, anyways, no hard feelings to anybody. People are gonna say what they want, and I would just keep it within the context of all being part of Source. And so, think about this. Something like the med bed is made with artificial intelligence. Are you going to say that's evil? right? Do you say it's wrong to create something that heals your body from cancers and diseases because it uses AI? That's what I'm talking about. Not all AI is coming from a space of distortion or dark agendas. So there's a lot to say about like simulation theory, but that is not what we're talking about tonight. We're not talking about in the time matrix, though. We do have parallel systems. We have parallel races on that side, and they can come here and we can come there, and even the secret space programs talk about parallel Earthman. They talk about using technology and portals to get to the other side, just like you'll see that in what you call soft disclosure in movies like Stargate SG-1. They're taking portals to parallel Earth systems or parallel worlds or other worlds because they exist in the time matrix. One thing you have to understand, if let's say you're a sci-fi fan, if you're a sci-fi fan or you're a science nut or you're into astrophysics, realize that the mainstream does not come from that premise. They don't talk about multidimensional realities, but that's what the matrix is. We experience 144 lifetimes in this universe. But you also spend in the same parallel universe another 144 lives. You don't hear that in the secret space program. You don't hear that anywhere except for the Guardian teachings. They're the ones giving you exact specific numbers. We live 144 times in the second universe particle matrix. And in the anti-particle matrix, another 144. We have all these lifetimes in the matrix. We're not limited to this life. And that's what tonight's message was. Thank you guys so much. I know I didn't reach my goal, financial goal tonight, but it just happens that way sometimes. So thank you guys for hanging with me tonight, and I'll try to line up some more guests. Like I want to have some more interviews. It's nice to have that variety and different types of topics that we don't always cover here. So I will try that. Hopefully by Saturday we'll have another person. I still want to reach out to Spacetoria. We haven't had her on in a while, and I'll take a look at some of the older interviews and see if we can get another guest on next Tuesday. So, the Matrix is something that we do in our spiritual awakening. We're interfacing the Matrix. That's where we currently are embodied. We are ascended master Giannis beings, but part of our consciousness, a piece of their consciousness, of your consciousness, you put in the time matrix, and we're experiencing that in all these different incarnations, 144 here, 144, all these different dimensions. We're experiencing what it's like to be an incarnate. We're experiencing what it's like to be an angel or a soul and an oversoul. We're experiencing what it's like to be an avatar and a rishi. God is great, and you're part of the at-one-ment, the allness, that which is source, including AI, including axe murderers and dark, diabolical fallen angels. It's all part of the one. A rock is part of the one. A molecule, air molecule is part of the one. Everything is part of the one. Thank you guys for hanging with me tonight. Let me do some affirmations. Calling on that Elohai. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. Omedai Patuma. Omedai Patuma. Patuma Hedeta Hekumna. Omedai Patuma. Tretila Hiderna. Tretila Hiderna. Dharma Hekemta Hekumna. Omedai Patuma. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. Say it with me, holy ones. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I kiss you, my beloved twin flame. I love you guys. You're my homies. You're my family. Christos frequencies in the house. What's up, Indigo Gangsters? Christos Gangsters. I'll see you guys on Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Have a beautiful, blessed week, you guys. Aho. Namaste. Machiwa. Much gratitude to all you regulars. A gratitude, shout out to all of my moderators, all my members. Thank you guys for being here with us tonight. Many blessings. Good night.